everyone, and welcome to another Knitty Heather Scrap. My name is Heather and I'm coming to you from Kent, Washington. This is the series on my channel where I talk about shorter subjects in the fiber world. If you'd like any details on the projects I am currently working on, please check out my podcast videos. If you are a new viewer, welcome. I am so glad you found me. And if you are a returning viewer, thank you so much for coming back. I really appreciate all the love and support. Happy New Year to you all. I hope everyone had a wonderful holiday season, whatever they did. I know it's definitely different for most people this year, but I hope everyone is doing well. Welcome to my first video of 2021. Today is Thursday, January 7th, 2021, and I thought I would take a few minutes to do a little recap of everything I was able to accomplish knitting-wise and do a little year in review. 2020 was a very productive knitting year for me. I didn't really start the year out with any specific goals other than I wanted to complete the Desert Vista Dye Works annual sock club, which I was able to do. It was so much fun, and I already have my first pair for this year cast on. But I didn't really start out with any major goals, anything I particularly set out to accomplish. But of course that kind of all changed. I am a preschool teacher and my school unfortunately had to close due to the current situation. But that ended up giving me a lot of extra time on my hands to complete a lot of knitting and learn some video editing skills and start this podcast just as kind of something extra to do, something to keep me busy, and I've really been enjoying it so far. We are actually still currently closed but hoping to start up in the next month or two. I was able to mostly knit about 3 pairs of socks every month. I tried to focus on my Desert Vista Dye Works socks, my Cozy Knitter Yarn of the Month Club socks, and my Yarnable Box socks. I started receiving my Cozy Knitter Yarn of the Month and the Yarnable Box in February, so I was able to get most of the year knit up with them. I actually do still have my December socks for both of those clubs still on the needles, but I'm about to finish those. And I'm okay with that because in December I was knitting 2 pairs of Advent self-striping socks where I added 1 stripe every day. They turned out really beautifully. I will definitely show those off in my next podcast. So here are my official stats taken from Ravelry. I will link my page of 2020 projects in the description box below. Some of these projects were already started when 2020 began, but these are all the things I finished in 2020. I knit 50 pairs of socks in 2020, which I am so thrilled about. I really feel like I've hit my stride with sock knitting, and I love every single pair. I did gift one of them, which I'll talk a little bit more about gift knitting in a minute. So I did 50 pairs of socks. 12 of those were for the 12 months of the Desert Vista Dye Works Monthly Sock Club. I ended up doing 10 pairs from the Cozy Knitter Yarn of the Month Club, 10 pairs from the Yarnable Box, and then 18 other pairs. I knit 11 shawls, which 4 of those were for mystery knit-alongs, which I really enjoy doing. I hope to maybe do a few more of those this year. I knit 6 cowls. I knit 1 adult hat, 3 baby hats, 1 pair of fingerless mitts, 2 sets of 24 ornaments, which a lot of those had already been cast on, but I finished quite a few this last year as well. But my most exciting finished object of the year is actually one I don't think I've talked about yet on the podcast. It is a crocheted granny square blanket. Here it is. I used the Crochet Granny Square blanket from Stacy Perry in her Crochet for Knitters series. I just used the Karen 1 pound big giant balls that you can get at Joann's or Michael's. I seriously started this, I think, in like 2013. I mean, I've been working on this forever. I stopped working on this quite a bit and then would pick it back up usually on our summer road trips. These little squares were the perfect thing to work on in the car during summer road trips that my husband and I would take. I used the blue color in the middle of all of them, and then I alternated green and pink around the blue center and then did white around everything and then seamed them all together, which that was the part that took forever, and I felt so accomplished once I got this done. I did 10 strips of 8 squares and seamed them all together. So it pretty much covers like a queen bed, and I absolutely love it. Pepper, our Cavalier King Charles Spaniel, really loves it as well. She's kind of claimed it as her own. But I was really thrilled to be able to finish this last year because I have a lot of other blankets on the needles for my scrappy projects, and it was nice to get one of these done to be able to use. This is the Crocheted Granny Square blanket by Stacy Perry. It's a very traditional classic crocheted blanket pattern. Everything I was able to accomplish, and now I'd like to tell you a little bit about some of my goals for this coming year in 2021. First, I would really love to grow my YouTube channel and Instagram and connect with more people. This definitely includes starting a Ravelry group and doing some giveaways for people who are so kind enough to follow and watch my videos. I know I mentioned doing that a couple podcasts ago, and giveaways are certainly something I still have every intention of doing. Please let me know if you have any advice on the best way to do giveaways and manage a Ravelry group. Related to making some new knitting friends and growing my community, I'd like to give a special shout out to the Friday Night Knit group from the new Knittery in Renton, Washington. I started joining their Zoom knit night at the end of November, and it's been so much fun to join a knitting group and to make some new knitting friends. So that's been a lot of fun, and I really hope that we can start meeting in person this year. Another goal of mine is to do more gift knitting. All I really gave away this last year was a hat for my aunt, fingerless mitts to another aunt, a shawl for my mom, a pair of socks for my mother-in-law, and 3 baby hats for my cousin's baby that is due at the end of this month. I'm super excited to have a new baby in the family to knit for. I would also like to maybe try my hand at doing some sock or shawl designs. I really have no idea how to do this yet. I just sort of have some ideas in my head. Some have kind of sketched out on graph paper. But if you have any suggestions or recommendations of programs to use and kind of a good process of getting a pattern published, I would love to hear about that. Lastly, I would like to try to keep up with knitting those 3 pairs of socks each month from Desert Vista Dye Works, The Cozy Knitter, and the Yarnable box from Hypnotic Yarn. Once my school starts back up, I'm not quite sure if that will be possible, but I will definitely focus on at least completing the Desert Vista Dye Works monthly sock club, because that's just too much fun. And I love seeing what everybody else is knitting each month. It gives me a lot of inspiration, a lot of good ideas for new sock patterns and colorways of hers that I haven't added to my collection yet. So I will definitely try to keep my sock knitting up. And I also sort of have kind of a general goal of maybe trying to complete a shawl about every 2 or 3 months, maybe a cowl every month, and then I would like to knit another sweater. Please let me know in the comments below if you have any suggestions for good beginning sweater patterns. I have a few ideas in my mind, but I always love to hear what people suggest. Preferably not with fingering weight yarn. I don't know if I have the attention span yet to do a sweater out of fingering weight. Please let me know down below, what are your goals for 2021, knitting or otherwise? I'd love to hear about them. So what do I have left on my needles coming into 2021 that's left over from 2020? Well, I have my first sweater that just needs the sleeves, and they're even just t-shirt length short sleeves, so I really should be able to finish those pretty quickly. I also have a lacy shawl that's been on the needles for a long time, and like I mentioned earlier, my December Yarnable and Cozy Knitter socks I still need to finish up. One just needs a toe and the other just needs their cuffs. I also have just 3 more stripes to add to my Year of Minis cowl from Clark and Elle. I'm hoping to have most of those things done before my next podcast. Well, I hope you enjoyed this little recap about everything I made in 2020 and some of my plans for 2021. Thank you so much for joining me. Do you have any ideas for any content that you would like to see on this channel? Please let me know. You can drop me a comment down below or send me a message on Instagram. I am at Knitty Heather on Instagram if you would like to follow me. I always love making new cyber knitting friends and seeing what everyone is up to. If you like this video, please consider hitting the like and subscribe button. I would really appreciate that. I hope 2021 is off to a great start for you, and I wish nothing but the best for you in the year ahead. And until next time, be well, be kind, and happy knitting. We'll see you in the next one. Bye. Pepper, is that your blanket? What is it doing on the floor? Huh?